Well, good morning. We have another day in John chapter 5. And this is an incredible passage in John chapter 5 because Christ encounters a group of people who really seem to know their Bibles. I wonder if you know people like this, people that know their Bible. They know the story of David and Goliath. They know the story of Moses and the burning bush. They understand the process of the Exodus. But really and truly, they have no idea who Christ is, and it shows in their lifestyle. They have all of the head knowledge, but nothing has taken place in their heart yet. Well, that's what's going on in John chapter 5. Let me read these verses to you. This is John chapter 5, verse 39 and 40. It says, you search the Scriptures because you think in them you'll have eternal life. But it is them that bear witness of me, yet you refuse to come to me that you may have life. He says to these people, he says, you search the Bibles. And actually, that's a very good thing. There's no better place for a lost person to be than searching the Scriptures. But these folks that Christ encountered, they thought that the searching of Scriptures was going to gain them eternal life. But they didn't realize that unless they came to the conclusion that Jesus Christ was the fulfillment of the Scriptures, then their search of the Scriptures would ultimately turn out to be in vain. Like the people I illustrated earlier, they may know all the stories and they may have all the facts, but they do not know the fulfillment of the story, and that is Jesus Christ. As a matter of fact, it says in verse 40, they refused to come to Him. They said, no, it will be by my knowledge that I will inherit eternal life. It will be by my good works that I will inherit eternal life. And so they begin to gain lots and lots of knowledge. But what Christ is saying is the only true response to that knowledge is to bow our knees to His finished work. Now you see a similar passage in the book of Luke. In the book of Luke chapter 24, and this is Luke 24, verse 26. Christ is on the road to Emmaus, and He comes across these two who were disciples of His, not necessarily among the 12, but those who had followed Christ, and they were discouraged that He had died. And He begins to walk with them, and He asks what they're talking about, and they begin to tell Him, and they're frustrated because they're expecting Christ to reign eternally over them right then and there. They did not expect Him to suffer and die. And Jesus said this, He says, beginning with Moses and all the prophets, He began to explain to them the things concerning Him in the Scriptures. Jesus takes them back to Moses and He begins to show them. And remember, if you're going to start with Moses, you're going to start in the book of Genesis. Jesus goes all the way back to the book of Genesis, and He shows these two gentlemen how He is the fulfillment of everything written in the Scriptures. I hope that you understand that I hope that you understand that your search of the Scriptures is not a search for greater knowledge, and your search of the Scriptures is not so that you would learn how to have a happier life while you're still here, but your search of the Scriptures is a pursuit that you would know Christ in all of His glory. And as you begin to know Him in all of His glory, and as His Spirit begins to enrich you with His glorious grace, you will find the strength to serve Him with all of your heart.